Never fails. I start to do my videos. Addie Bear, you're already out cold. You're going to sleep. Are you faking? No, you're really sleeping. Never fails. I go to start out of the driveway, or I get halfway through a video, and then somebody calls. And it's not like I can hit ignore all the time. Can't always hit ignore. Amy was calling me as I was leaving the farm, so no big deal. On my way home now, my portion of a busy Saturday is done. What about yours, Addie Bear? Are you out cold? It looks like you're going to go to sleep in a second. Do you want to say hi to everybody before you go to sleep?
Hi, everybody.
Did you have a big day at the barn?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the barn today? You saw Cake and Tiger? What are those two doggies' names? Billy and Willow? So Addie's on the brink of going to sleep right now. Do you want me to go get a car wash then when you go to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay. So Addie's on her way to dozing off right now.
I've been falling asleep in the car wash.
You're going to fall asleep in the car wash?
Yeah, in the car.
Okay, you go ahead. So, as I said, my part of a busy Saturday is over. Get up.
Before he's the green one.
Okay. Addie and I get up early this morning. We come over to the barn to train all the babies. So we had 20 babies. We had 16 babies training, and how did we have 8? Oh, because Louie had 4, right? 16 babies training. They ended up being sets of 10, which is pretty cool. A little concerning when we first went out. You know, there's a lot of ditches. You guys have noticed the ditches and the dips and the cliffs that are there, and all the horses were very, very good today. My only concern personally was Insider Trading keeps throwing her head today. She didn't do that 2 weeks ago, so I don't know what can into her this week. I might have to put a stronger martingale on her. We have one of those bib martingales, V martingales that usually work really good, but with her, she was just acting up today. I want to take the hobbles off of her. I think both her and Flashfly have improved vastly since we broke them. And I want to take the hobbles off of Insider Trading this week. I'm going to get that head throwing under control for sure, without a doubt. What else do we have today? Very happy overall with the horses, though. So the first set had Easy in the Turns. Easy in the Turns, George of the Jungle, Insider Trading. Don't talk about Bruno. Watch Your Mouth, Seasons of Love, Time Is on My Side, and Drebin. I was happy with everybody. Drebin, I want to talk to Danny after I watch the video. I know the horse is fast, but I have no real interest in seeing him sit last and then circle the field. Kind of what I had to do with Insider Trading, because she was throwing her head and acting up. I just had to find a spot in the track where she'd behave. Once you got her going forward, she could trot a quarter as fast as any of the babies we have and not make a mistake. But it's when you get the bit in her mouth and you have to make her sit and behave and actually do racehorse stuff, that's when you start getting in trouble with her, and we can't keep doing that. The same with Drebin. I want him under control and doing his work, man. Both those horses can fly right now. Very, very fast. Easy on the Turns, actually, as fast as we came her last half. She actually came faster than us. She caught up to us from the half to the wire, so a big last half from her. Horse that I didn't realize how good he was until after I watched the videos was George in the Jungle. George of the Jungle was very, very good. I know Johnny said that don't, and I had to tell everybody. I should have prefaced this video and any video about the babies today. Track was a little snowy, as I showed you the other day, the snowfall here in Ontario. Little icy. It does play a role, especially when our trotters are probably, some of them going on 4 weeks, so they're due to be shod this week, and have flip-flops on, and then end up on a deeper kind of snowy, icy track. It's a very tough thing to overcome, and some of the horses, when you went to use them like we've been using them on a softer track or even an icier track with no snow and powder, they didn't have a problem doing it. But don't talk about Bruno. Johnny said he made one little miscue earlier in the mile, and then where he made the break in the last turn, he thought that he could jostle. Something that spooked him. I'm not really that worried about it. Watch Your Mouth was pacing good, made a break down the backstretch though, and Preston said he was fine after that. Seasons of Love, Mario was very happy with. I know James said Time Is on Your Side. Time Is on My Side was, the hobbles were a little long. They seem long because he was probably slipping a little bit. And the easy question for all of you, from all of you, that I can answer just as easily would be, why wouldn't you take the flip-flops off? We could, but I'm not really interested in them, doing their work perfectly right now. What I want is to keep them sound, have their attitude good, and have them understand their job moving forward. Aside from time is on my side, getting out of gear a couple of times, the horse did his work well. James said he didn't do anything wrong, just get out of gear a couple of times, and then he was fine after that. As I said, easy on the turns was fantastic. George of the Jungle looked very, very good to me. Insider Trading was great. I'm not going to give her an A+ just because she was throwing her head and acting up. But I will get that under control, and we are going to take the hobbles off her for a little while. So we'll see if she's so sure-footed without any hobbles on. And then we had Watch Your Mouth made a little break, but Preston said he was pacing great. Other than that, Seasons of Love, Mario was happy with. James was happy with. Time is on my side. And Drebin, again, Danny loves him. The horse was fantastic and looked good again today. Now, in the second set, it was a little bit of a dog's breakfast. I said to Shane, make sure you keep McPaisley buried up today. And I don't know if it got lost in translation. But I looked over, and here's Shane coming 3 wide. I got Flashfly in the front. I know we're at the half in 125, which means you're going to probably go a mile in between 40 and 45, probably around 42, 43. We ended up going in 43. James was just sitting on the outside buggy riding with International Spy. Mick Paisley kind of got in a spot where, again, she had made breaks there before. I think Shane was just babying her around the last turn, and we kind of sprinted away on them. It's all about learning. At least she did her work well today. I wasn't disappointed with that. I don't really care if they don't look as strong as everybody. They are horses that we are going to put the work in, and they are going to get to the races. And to try to discern who's going to be good or bad at this point is a fool's errand. There's no way to know. So it's just a matter of putting the work in, and for the horses, accepting your workload, doing it to the best of your ability, and learning from it. That goes a lot further to me than I knew this place would be packed, this car wash. What was I even thinking? Man, place is a zoo. There has to be 45 cars in line up here. I'm just going to pull a little Yui and go right home. I can get a car wash tomorrow before I go to Northfield Park. So anyway, I'll get to how the set went. Flashfly, I could tell, wasn't on her game today. It ended up being she was in heat, horsing pretty good after the set. And they said she peed on the floor. And I wasn't too worried about it at all. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We'll probably end up putting her on Regimate, and that won't be a problem. But the fact is, I knew she wasn't 100%, and she was not 100% today. I know, but look at all the cars. It's full. There's 5 million cars in there. Look out your window. Here, look how many cars are lined up. I'm not waiting. I'll get it tomorrow. I'll just get car washed tomorrow. No big deal. Are you awake now? Want to hold my hand? That's my girl. So, I just wanted to keep Flashfly comfortable as I could. I warmed her up really good, and then ended up floating her to the front. I just wanted to go 4 even quarters, 8 even eighths if I could, just not jostle her. And I'll tell you how much I like her later on when we get through the mile. So I ended up on the front. I made my way to the front, I should say. What's this thing? I made my way to the front, and Flashfly was very, very good. Great bad Jenna's Beach Boy, I wish he is. J-Port Beach Boy made his way around. Winter Bells looked good. The 2 horses that really obviously looked the very, very best in that set, and 2 of the best horses we have right now, I think. Hallie in the Clouds. Did she come from the clouds? I didn't realize where Amy came from. So now Shane's out 3 wide, so everybody's starting to get compacted in the last turn. Everybody wants to get antsy and wants to get racy for that stretch. And I'm backing in, right? Because Flashfly, I don't want to push her. And James knows this. James knew, going. He was just sitting there with International Spy. I was just sitting there. We were both laughing at Shane for being 3 wide in the turn. And I looked again, and Hallie in the Clouds was like a blur. She just came screaming by us coming out of the last turn and was gone. Flashfly almost run it. What I love is a horse that knows the difference between doing it right and doing it wrong. And she was trying her hardest to keep up, but at the same time allowing me to coddle her so she didn't roll off stride. She didn't over-trot herself. And she didn't. She was absolutely perfect right through. I put a couple of steps in there you couldn't tell from the Hubble telescope, but she was bumpy down the lane, but I was able to hold her together, and she allowed me to do that. And that is very rare for a young horse to do, to allow you to throttle them back when they want to go forward, when they're competitive. I'm very impressed with that filly's mental acuity today. She was really, really good and very strong. I went a mile 43. I came my last half at 18. Amy must have come her last half in 14 or 15 to come from where she did. That filly looked unbelievable. Hallie in the Clouds was huge. And then as I was sitting there looking at her, enamored with her, another blur come by me through the middle in Lonely Lakewood. Johnny said he was trotting better. We just made a tiny, tiny shoeing change, and he was so much better. I'm really, 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 really impressed with Lonely Lakewood. What he did today, what he's been able to do. Johnny likes the horse, and he gets along very, very good with him. Very happy with those 2 horses today. They were standouts. So 4 horses that I thought looked maybe just a little bit above and beyond everybody were 1-2 in each set. Hallie in the Clouds had to get top marks today. That was an amazing move. And then Lonely Lakewood to shoot through and knife through the way he did was impressive. Insider Trading and Drebin, not as polished as those other 2 either. So if you were going to give marks, everything counting for a mark, their attitude, their work ethic, their strength, their power, their ability, everything rolled into one. Hallie in the Clouds, Lonely Lakewood, Insider Trading, Drebin, maybe even Drebin ahead of Insider Trading because of that head throwing. We're easily the top 4 of the day. Everybody else did their work well, though. The break by Watch Your Mouth, and who cares? I mean, the horse did his work well and made it rolled off for whatever reason, but it got a slick gait on him. He's kind of a strong colt and doing his work well. So we get through the... Yeah, we're home in 1 sec, baby. So... No, I'll get one tomorrow before I go to Ohio. Well, did you want to wait in that lineup? That was like an hour to wait, or 45 minutes. You don't want to wait for a car wash. Car's not that dirty. I got a car wash yesterday. All right? Do you want to go back later then? Do you want to go back later on then before it closes? Do you want to go back later, like 6 o'clock before it closes? All right, no problem. So, just super impressed with all the babies this week. You know, just 1 sec, sweetheart. I got to do a video for everybody. Well, because everybody wants to know how the babies were today and how the horsies went today. Well, because they own them. They want to know.
But who built the barn?
Who built the barn? I think that was Joe Stutzman, actually.
Who did?
Joe did.
Who?
Joe. Joe Stutzman.
Who
Okay.
does?
Joe Stutzman, yeah. Just 1 second. So then, just the whole week, the babies in Ohio, first and foremost. And you guys know, when we have 37 horses go on the track, there's always 3 or 4 that I got to go with the next day. Out of all 37 that I went with, 1 I wanted to go with. And that was just because he was being a goof. Right? Memory and imagination, doing the same stuff that Insider Trading was doing here, except she didn't make a break. She had hobbles on. He did not. Without hobbles, maybe she looks like that next time. So, to have 36, me be happy with 36 of 37 horses in Ohio, and then come out here and really happy with all 16. Now, we had 4 extras, plus Punch the Clock, but those 4 are learning their work well. Punch the Clock is getting closer to starting to go in the jog cart now. She's on the exerciser, the walking machine. But as we went with 16 horses today, I was happy with all 16. Super, super, and 4 just blew me away. Now, I guess I know that Drebin's nice, and I'm happy that Danny's getting along because he's a nice horse and he's a likable horse. Insider Trading needs to get her head screwed on straight, but the other 2 were just lights out good. And to be honest, Flash Fly, a very good third also. She is much more mentally mature than Insider Trading. Raw speed, I think you have to kind of give that edge to Insider Trading, but overall, everything, taking everything into account, Flash Fly's an impressive filly also. So that was the babies. Then we had to go down. Remember, we got so much snow that they moved the qualifiers to today. Finished at 9:10. Perfect timing. Warmed up all the horses. We had 2 to qualify and 5 to school. 5 to school. So I'm going to try and get to them all right now. So the qualifiers were good. Now, Procrastinator looked much better today. 27 and a piece on the end of it. 1 mile and 58. This is Procrastinator. This is what I expected. I've never seen him not be able to look flashy. What's that? Sun's bothering you? All right, what's bothering me too. Just a second and I'll carry you in, okay? Procrastinator was very good. Now, I thought Blue Tesla looked poor, to be honest. 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the end of it. I don't want to see more than that. No, the track wasn't great today. But I want to see a little bit more than that. And then we'd scoped her after in her bifurcation. So you got the airway, and then when the lungs branch off, there's tissue there called the skin tissue, whatever, called the bifurcation. It was swollen, which really constricts their airway. And if you watch the mile, what I heard the vet tell me about what went on with Blue Tesla is exactly what I saw on the track. A horse that just ran out of air. She just kind of backed, and still come 30 seconds, but just kind of backed up a bit. So happy with both those qualifiers. I was disappointed with Bravura and Cash Deals. I wanted to see them do a better job. Hi, baby. I wanted to see them do a better job, and they just didn't. They're both going to qualify next week, regardless. We'll see how they qualify, but I need to see more from both of those horses. We're gonna see more of that as we get closer. As we get closer to some of these horses starting their sophomore campaigns, or at least their 2023 campaigns. Did we come up here to pick our nose? Is that what we did? No, we don't pick our nose. Oh, you're gonna shall we get rid of all your boogies when we go inside? Come here. That's my girl. Oh, so I'm gonna say Blue Tesla was okay. Procrastinator was awesome. Cash Deals and Bravura just need to do more. And then I did go with Eldie's Patrick Day. Now let me set the stage for you. Starting to get muddy. I went with Matt's MVP. 2 minutes. He was on vapors, but he scoped okay. It was just a heavy track. We went with Percy, my 1%. He went a good mile. James was happy with him. He stayed trotting. And then in between them, I went with Eldie's Patrick. I let him trot right out to the front, and I let him rock. Now, these were good miles. 2 minutes, 59, 2 minutes. I won a mile in 55 and 3 with Eldie's Patrick. That's how good he was. So Eldie's Patrick, although I can't say what happened, I talked to James. Yeah, you want to go with Mommy? Do you want to take her in, and I'll take her boots in? There you go. Good girl for getting your socks back on, too, by the way. I mean, what about Chinese food? Yeah, you say you, but you want it. Eldie's Patrick, you can say, oh, the big, morning glory type horse where he does great in the morning and terrible at night. Yeah, I guess he has that coming. He does. But he's also a horse that, from the rail, it's tough to get him away anyway. And although James said to me, I gave him an out, and good for James. I gave him an out, and I said, could it have been the rail the other night? He goes, yeah, it could have been. He said, he just didn't trot good out of there. And I can't really tell you why. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to drive him his next start. James has won a lot of races with the horse, too. I can tell you this. With complete honesty, I've gone with Eldie's Patrick a lot of times. I've trained him, I've driven him, I've schooled him, I've qualified him. I can tell you that he hasn't been as powerful. He's been powerful before, 54, 55 he trotted, but I've never seen him look as fluid as he looked today. He never put a step in, not a step. Now, he had a rub mark on the inside of his right hoof behind, which is weird. I don't know where he did that. It could have been from the boot, but it didn't look like a boot rub. So is he touching somewhere? I don't know. He's due to be shod, but I don't want to shoe him. So I said to the blacksmith, if he needs to be shod, just take the shoes off, rasp him around, make sure that he's still tipped in and out the way we want him, put the shoes back on him. I can tell you this, as I said, and I'll state it as clearly as I can. Eldie's Patrick has never trotted a day in his life better than he did this morning. Not one time. So, a lot of people are going to say, well, then you should drive him. I could, yeah. We'll see what kind of class he gets in. He's dropping down into the numbers and nothing now, where he won his last start. So we'll see if James wants to do. I am going to list probably James first. I'm not going to say he's that tricky that only I can get along with him. The hobbles were in the same place they were for James. All the equipment was on the same way. Cindy put it all on the same way. I think it was just, rather than put his nose in the gate from now on, what we got to do just to keep him a little safer, just time him into the gate and let him trot out. Let him get his feet underneath him and then let him trot out. I let him scream into the turn, and he's like almost a runaway this morning. And as we're going into the turn, I said, I hope you don't think I'm going to fight with you to double you up. So you're only really going to tire yourself out. Because if you think that I'm going to fight with you, that's a hard no. And I don't know what we were able to half in, but we won a mile in 55 and 4, 55 and 3. And he was, that track, that was at least a second off. At least. So take that for what it's worth. You're all, for the gamblers out there, you can gamble. He shows breaks. I've told you everything I know now about Eldie's Patrick. James will likely be, he'll be listed on him his next start. And he has never trotted better than he did today. Take that for what it's worth. And it may result in another break, and I pull my hair out. I don't know. But I can tell you he was exceptionally good this morning. So, babies, A+ today. Very, very happy with them. LD's Patrick, I was very happy with. Matt's MVP did his work well. He's probably ready to try at 57. If that gets him good money, fine. We might be approaching a place where Matt's MVP may find himself in the preferred site, and that's not because I don't like him. It's just because I don't particularly want to rest him again, to be honest. We'll be going well into his 4-year-old season, built on hopes and dreams. Horse has talent. There's no two ways about it, and I don't have any angst towards Matt's MVP at all. I like the horse. I generally do like him. I like horses that, one, either do their work great, or two, transform. He was such a little mongrel at 2, and then just to turn out to be such a nice horse at 3 and 4. And I have gushed about how tough he must be, because there's been nights when I saw him race where I'm like, he's not 100% tonight. And then just go out and race great. So he always gets top marks from me, but I don't think we're in a position to really rest him again. So we'll see how he races his next start, but he may be getting close to that time. My 1%, I was happy. I was ready to go with 1%, and James said, no, you go with Matt, because I probably can't drive him his next start. I'll go with this guy, because I only ever went with my 1% once in the last forever. So I just wanted to make sure he was okay, but James said he schooled really well, so that's good. That's awesome. And then Bravura and Cash Deal. It's not Mario's fault. Bravura's been kind of a letdown a little bit. I thought she was a better horse than maybe she is. She's okay. Somebody asked me the other day, what's she worth? Well, she's always going to be worth $12,000 or $15,000, I suspect, as a trotting mare. I think that's fair. And the way the classes are being written right now at the Meadows at Northfield, there's places to race them if they can't do here. And then that goes for Cash Deals also. So Cash Deals, Bravura. I will give a pass to Blue Tesla today after talking to Dr. Grosenbacher, who was there to scope her afterwards. Said, yeah, it was quite inflamed. So we can treat that. We can work on it. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I might get into your videos a little bit today. I do want to watch football. It doesn't start till 4:30. That gives me a solid 2 hours to do some videos, so I might just finish them all up tonight. I don't like doing them on Saturday because tonight, we got JK and Mickey Mantle, we got Cintra, we got No Free Lunch, and to do them before they race kind of takes away from what we're trying to report. But I guess I can give you an update on them tomorrow. And then I don't have a lot of time to do videos tomorrow. Obviously, I have time to do them, but then I would have to go home. I guess I could go home and load them. We'll see how today goes. But I will get the videos out to you at some point today. Very good week with the babies. Pretty good week at the track, especially the way the week started out. So for those of you, our clients that are following along with us very closely and intently throughout 2023 and potentially 2022, nothing's ever perfect. We're not without our shortcomings and mishaps. But overall, man, I couldn't be happier than what I've seen so far this year. So with that, I will talk to you all soon. Very soon, actually. Take care.